May this be for God's greater honor and glory. Amen. Please be seated. I'd like to spend a few minutes reflecting on this gospel. It's a parable, and it's really a commentary on Jesus' own generation, on the people with whom he lived. It's a comment that Jesus makes about his own contemporaries. And he puts it like this. He said that little children are playing in the marketplace, and one group said to the other, "We piped you a tune, but you didn't dance. We piped you a wail, and you did not mourn." What he was really saying is that the ones who are mourning, the ones who are in constant sorrow, are the people like John the Baptizer, and they all knew who that was. And these people were saying that John the Baptizer was so stern and so strict and so severe and so removed that he must have a demon in him. And then he said, "But yet I come along, the Son of Man, and I'm eating and I'm drinking and I'm having a good time, and I'm inviting all of the outcasts and the sinners in to have companionship with me, and you look at me and say, 'Look, you're a drunk. You're a libertine. We don't want anything to do with you.'" He might just as well have said, "Damned if you do, damned if you don't." Because basically what he was suggesting is that no matter how hard people try to not believe what is the truth, no matter how hard it is, sometimes people just don't want to listen to what's the truth. It's pretty simple. The fact of the matter is that there are some people who are so convinced that they're right that they won't listen to anybody else. They won't listen to Jesus. They won't listen to any kind of reason. It's simply the way that I believe. It's easier, in a sense, to stay stuck in your own incorrect convictions than it is to break out and say, maybe there's another way of looking at this. Maybe there's another way of seeing the truth. Maybe there's another way that I can account for my life in a way that is fair and just and honest, and let the comments that people make about me just kind of brush off of me because it doesn't really matter. What Jesus is suggesting is that we need to know ourselves. We need to be people who are comfortable in our own skin. And if we're comfortable in our own skin, it really doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. It doesn't really matter what anybody else says. Like those little kids who are taunting one another in the marketplace, saying that, you're too mournful, and the others say, well, you're too crazy and happy-go-lucky. You're too irresponsible. Jesus said, if you really know your own heart, and if you know your own convictions, and you're comfortable in your own skin, that's really what God is looking for. So, let's ask the Lord to give us the conviction that we need to be comfortable in our own skin, to be people who are happy, who are peaceful, who are serene, who have eyes wide open, that we're not being Pollyannish, but basically we're people who say, okay, life isn't perfect, but it sure is pretty sweet sometimes. Let's thank the Lord for giving us the gift of life. Amen. May God be